Burris from the Holistic Counseling states, anxiety can be seen as an invitation for inner work. I'm Megan, and welcome to the Tough Luck Podcast. And today we have a very special topic. It's one that I find to be super important and something that I use pretty much every single day. If you're one to have anxiety, this would be the podcast for you. Even if you just occasionally have anxious thoughts, which a lot of us do, it can feel overwhelming, and it's often to the point of exhaustion and burnout. And so, to avoid all of that, I have a couple of strategies that I use in my daily life that can help each and every one of you, depending on how frequently or how often you use it, it could really benefit you. So we first need to identify the spiritual realm, and it's not something that everybody believes in. Everybody believes in something, but maybe it's more scientific, maybe it's more spiritual based, maybe it's a mixture of both. And oftentimes, depending on who you are, what your beliefs are, that's totally fine. But at least from my belief system, I think that it's a mixture of the spiritual realm, the beliefs that we have in our daily life, the context of the situation, depending on what situation's going on, and it also has to do with our energy and how we feel and how we carry ourselves and present ourselves in this world. So, getting started here, I first really want to ask you in terms of when you feel anxious, when something comes about, how and when does it pop up? So for example, in my life, if I feel like I have way too much to do and I have way too much going on, I can feel very overwhelmed and it can lead to burnout. For me, it's when I feel there's too much work to be done, too much energy entering in my life, and so I just have to keep in mind that there are days where I will feel absolutely great and have all this energy, and there are days where I won't, and I'll feel totally overwhelmed. And it's not always just because I have so much work, but it's sometimes because I am using up my resource, my battery, and I've hit a point and it's done. So just noticing what it is for you and keeping in mind it's different for every person. It's not a one-size-fits-all method. The important point is to go through a few thought patterns by asking yourself the following questions. First, what is my name? Second, where am I? Third, what color would I describe my emotion? And fourth, on a scale from 1 to 10, how anxious am I right now? And then you just simply repeat that until you've hit close to a 0, if not a 0. There's this phrase that's called EMDR. It's bilateral tapping, kind of just tapping side to side. And then you close the eyes, you visualize it, and it's helping to connect both sides of the brain together. And I use this in my therapy practice. And so this part's called deregulation. If you're super stressed out, this is a good starting point because it's helping with the emotion, it's helping with both sides of the brain, it's calming your nervous system, it's getting you to recognize that sometimes the emotion is the first thing to deal with before we can even tackle anything else. There are other ways of doing it, but you gotta figure out what's best for you. That's all it is. It's recognizing what helps you out. The second point I had to say is ask if it is a universal message being sent your way. And now It could be God, it could be universe for you, it could be scientific, I suppose, too. But just ask if there's a message or a lesson that could be learned from this. This is getting a little bit more spiritual, so bear with me here. Recognizing that this is the inner knowledge that is going to be popped up here. First, knowing in your gut, in your solar plexus, just allowing the eyes to close. And then checking in with your body, sitting up nice and straight, maybe finding a comfortable place on a blanket, on a chair, maybe standing, maybe laying down, and checking in with the body. Allowing yourself to connect with the body, connect with the breath. And then maybe you have something that comes in, a message perhaps, that comes in that's trying to tell you something. It's trying to communicate to you, and it's allowing for you to feel that sense of, okay, this is what the problem is. And oftentimes it's something outside of us, and sometimes it's what's within us. So meditation is a great way and a great tool to use when you're under pressure. So there are other ways of doing this. Journaling is one. I know when I journal, I have a lot of time to just jot down every thought I have. I have a lot of time to just be with myself, and then it's important to not stop the pen, not stop the flow of the pen as you're writing down your thoughts. And maybe even setting a timer for like 5 minutes and writing down for 5 minutes exactly what's going on. So just using those tools. Another really great method is channeling your spirit guide, spirit animal, relative, if one has passed on, you would like to communicate to, or a higher power. So this could be God, spirit, higher self, communicating to that other side and saying to yourself, okay, I'm having a stressful time about something. What is this lesson that I'm supposed to gain from this? Perhaps it's not even really identified right away. Sometimes it's not. And sometimes it's understanding that maybe we don't need to know right now. And that's okay too. The third point I have is, how can we better prepare ourselves for next time we face a similar feeling? Maybe next time we retreat to a private location, maybe we just focus on the breath. Maybe we communicate the feelings to a loved one or a therapist and see what they have to say about the circumstance. Oftentimes we have a lot more tools in our tool belt than we may realize. And I learned so much from other people. I mean, different perspectives are often what we need in this world. And I think the first and foremost is trusting your gut. Trusting that you do have the ability to solve your problem right then and there. And knowing that it's going to be okay in time. This too shall pass, as they say. So I'm just sending you all my love, all my light to you today. Thank you so much for watching this podcast. Sign up for the membership at clairvoyanceyoga.com, and we'd love to have you. I know it's been a crazy eclipse season so far. It's going to be in about 2 weeks from the time this podcast airs. We'll be in that eclipse season, so hang in there, everybody. I know it's this time is kind of a transformative time for all of us, so just keep in mind that we're all doing the best we can. And with that, I think I'll close. Thank you for watching. Mwah!